Is this working? Testing, testing. All right, guys, we are going to begin. Can I have everyone's attention, please? It's exactly 12 noon, and I am so happy to have you guys join us today. We are expecting a few more people to join us, but we are going to get started. Nothing makes me more proud as patriots that you guys can join us through the rain or shine, and we don't make excuses for it. I think now more than ever, we're in a time period where it is important. Come on in, we got Frank, Justin, guys, no assigned seating, have a seat. I appreciate you guys making it. So as I was saying, guys, this is a critical time in our country, but more importantly, this year in the city. Today's a big deal because we have just shy of 6 weeks until Election Day. But before I kick anything off, I do want to begin by saying the pledge. So if we could all rest, say the Pledge of Allegiance. So I like to joke, and we don't have a flag in here. We always have a flag. Forgive me. Where's our flag?
To the north. You just face the north.
We're gonna. Here we go. Yes, yes. Debbie won prize. Yeah. This is a real patriot. Okay, we have Debbie, a candidate who's joining us from Westchester, who's already got my vote, right? I appreciate it. Clap for Debbie. That's your prize. All right, guys, so I did the morning announcements all throughout middle school, so I literally take pride in doing the Pledge of Allegiance. So, to the flag, all right, ready? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, guys, have a seat. Thank you. Debbie, if it's okay with you, I'm going to keep my flag. This was a moment for me. I appreciate it. All right, guys, so I'm excited about today for a few reasons. I want you guys to take the time to network and speak to people at your table because we have a mixed crowd today. We've got current city council candidates. We have candidates joining us that are not in the city council races. We have college clubs here. We have Fordham University representatives. If we could bring it, a round of applause for Gen Z showing up. We have Fordham University here. We have the president, Kira, of Fordham University, and I just want to highlight you. Don't get nervous or shy, but Kira invited me to Fordham University this past Monday and allowed me to speak with her club and connect with Gen Zers, and we've got much more work to do, but the reason why I invited some Gen Zers is because I want them involved in the races, and I'll share a little bit more in a few. I also want to highlight Nate, who's the president of NYU's GOP, and then we've got Stephen from Baruch's GOP club that he's building and off the ground, so taking charge of it. So I appreciate it, Stephen. Thank you guys for joining me. So please, guys, take the time, take the moment. As we go about it, we will connect with one another. But today's forum is around get out the vote efforts. We've got less than 6 weeks till Election Day, and we want to make sure that we are sharing tips, tricks, key issues to get us to victory in November. A little bit about myself. I like to say I'm an HR by profession and a political operative by passion. I'm an HR at the Metropolitan Museum of Art, and I ran for City Council in 2021. Although I lost, my little engine that could got a little attention. I was elected to State Secretary of the NYGOP. And I currently am a member here at the Women's National Republican Club, in which I sit on the Board of Governors, and I'm joined by a board member. Thank you so much, Susan King, for supporting me tonight. It means a lot to me. Thank you. So, about me. I had Felicia Kalin, who ran against Tiffany Gabon in District 22, who called myself and Jackie Toberoff up and was like, we lost our races, but we can't give up the fight. We've got to work on training candidates. And that came to be known as Gotham Rising. Now, both members are successfully gone on to other projects, but I held on to Gotham Rising. I felt the need that we do need training and development. Because when I ran, I didn't have any training or development available to candidates, or a space where those that want to volunteer, because many of you guys are here today that are sharing, I want to volunteer, Vanessa, what do I do to help? And today we're going to share some things that you guys can do to support the candidates or campaign. I want this to be an open dialogue. This is a safe space, and I want us as patriots to walk out of here wanting to know what our piece of the puzzle is and getting some victories, because we can. So, why this year is important. Although I'm focused on city council races, this training today can be applied to any elections going forward, okay? So those 5 weeks, get out the vote efforts, also known as GOTV, it applies to anything. So don't feel that today's lesson is just about city councils. My focus for this year with city council is that this is the year that we can flip seats. There are 51 city council seats. How many Republicans are on city council? Can I get a show of hands? Who knows how many? 6 Republicans. That's 45 Democrats. 23 socialists of the 45, okay? If we're feeling insufferable in the 5 boroughs right now, it's truly because there's no balance. Who is controlling the budget? Who's writing the legislature, right? It's 45 Democrats in a city that I believe common sense and balance is what we so desperately need. So coming into this year, I found out it's an off-off election year. Who knows what an off-off election year is? Okay. Nothing else on the ticket. So you have a presidential race here, then you have an off year. Then you have a gubernatorial race here, and then you have an off year. The second off year. It's an off-off election year. Less than 10% of voters come out to vote. Less than 10%. So Art of War, when we think about, can we take more seats? This is the year to take more seats. No one really pays attention to voting. We already know the climate. So if we were going to strategically plan on winning more seats, flipping more districts, this is the year to do so. So I had an intern last year, Brady, who's president of the, forgive me, his name's escaping me because my phone just beeped. Georgetown University. So he's president of the GOP club. As fate would have it, I literally met him at a rest stop. We just started conversing. Turns out he's from New York, and we were in Maryland. Then it turns out he's a proud patriot. He's a Republican, he's a president. I sit on the board here at the Women's National Republican Club. He came to one Gotham Rising training last year. It was like, how can I help? And then that's how I got to this year, because Brady, last year's research, found additional flippable seats. And he came back with 9 seats. Of those seats currently, it's, what are we, September 24th today? We have 6 that were like, hey, we have a chance to win. And I'll highlight them for you right now. Top seat is District 47, Ari Kagan. We're going off of research, right? Dating back to 2021, including, of course, Lee Zeldin's race, all the data that came out of Lee's race. So all the data is what Brady researched on districts that are trending Republican. It's not we picked our, put our hands in the hat and pick these names. Like the data is showing, if we throw weight behind them, if we throw fundraising behind them, if we throw volunteers behind these 6 races, we can flip those seats. And for me, victory for me this year is if I could help flip 5 more seats, bring it 11 to 51. 11 out of 51 seats, that's what's victory. But we've got 6 strong seats. So Ari Kagan, who is a Democrat, and then last year he switched to Republican. That seat is District 47. So that seat is the top seat. Then we have Yin Tang's district, as well as Vito Labella from District 43. That's the second highest. Then I believe it's James Pye from Queens. Then after that, we've got Paul Rodriguez, who's in the crowd as well. So we've got 3 candidates that are here today. What number are we on to? 3, 4? We got 2 more. We have Kelly Klingman, who's running against Tiffany Caban. So think about it. These races are still winnable because we are less than 10% of voters. So if you're in a district that has 50,000 voters on a presidential year that come out, literally you'll have 5,000 show up this year. 10,000 show up. So all strategies going into this year makes it feasible. This isn't far-fetched. So I'm gonna just go, if you bear with me for 2 more seconds, I'm also gonna break down the fundraising aspect. Because candidates need money, not to line their pockets. It's to fuel their campaign and put up a fight against their opponents. Democrats outnumber us by almost $10,000 to $20,000. So the fun fact about City Council. City Council uses tax dollars if the candidates obtain matching funds. What's matching funds? You have to hit 2 thresholds. Then after you hit those 2 thresholds as a candidate, every dollar you bring into your campaign gets matched 8 times. 8 times. And the max is $175. So if I donated to Paul's campaign $175, that becomes $1,400. $1,400 goes a long way. And because of that, you guys have visibility because they're using tax dollars to do the matching funds. So on the campaign finance website, you can literally look up campaigns to see, I'm going to trace the dollar. What are they spending on? Should I invest in this candidate? But utilizing campaign finance website, you also get the opportunity to see how they're weighing against their opponents. If you guys took a minute later today or tomorrow to just go on the campaign finance website, it'll show you that most of the candidates that are Republican are a good $20,000 to $30,000 behind their opponent. And then it also shows you how much they've had left to spend because they've spent a lot of money already. Nonetheless, the time is now to donate to these campaigns. So please look into, we've got Vito, we've got Paul, who else did I do? We've got Yin Tang, who else did I miss? We've got a few. And I will be circulating an email with everyone's list, the list of the candidates that you can donate to. All seats are up for re-election, including the 6 we currently occupy. Okay? Guys, come on in, have a seat. Come on in. Guys, come on in, have a seat. Just find an open seat. I'm going to pause here for 1 second to just ask if there's any questions, and then we'll close it out. Secession ringtone. Sorry, guys, for any secession fans. Okay. What was I going to do? Okay, close out. So we understand the fundraising aspect. And each month they have a disclosure date. And I believe the next disclosure date for candidates, help me out here, I want to say it's October, first couple weeks of October. And if you don't know candidates, please look it up. You should know it all the time. If I'm donating to your campaign, you got to be like, you got to help me. I got 2 weeks, I need more money in my campaign. Because then they close it out and they release the money to the campaign within the week.
October 2nd.
Perfect, thank you, Vito. So today is September 24th. We've got candidates, you could Google them. If you want to donate to their campaigns, up to $175, you don't have to do $175. You could do $10, they still get $80. And guess what? It's going to what they need. Within the WNRC, I thank them for their support because they circulated, we got a couple members here, but I'm also going to circulate the email of candidates, if you are a member, the candidates you can donate to, okay? So a couple more points. I just want to thank our guest speakers today. They will be speaking shortly, but I do want to highlight, we've got Maureen McKinnery, who's joining us from the Women's Public Leadership Network. A network that I was connected to through the WNRC that actually supports campaigns, especially women who are running for office. They provide funding. They are our sponsors for today's event. So a round of applause for them, so thank you. And just making sure that we have Peter Ginta, who's president of the Young Republicans, State Young Republicans, excuse me, and then we have Nicole Kipralov, who will be joining us as well. So those are our guest speakers today. And then if you see my VIP special little guests, I brought my nephews today. So TJ and Chris, please stand up. And these are future patriots. And I don't have the picture, but I'll show it later. I have it on my phone. I'm going to try to get it to my laptop. I brought Chris and TJ with me last year to go vote. They had the stickers, future voters with them. And I just wanted them to come see, they call me Tati Ness. So those that don't know me out here, outside of here, they come to see what Tati Ness does. Politically, I like to get them involved early, right? They can help hand out literature, and then future volunteers, future interns, but getting them started early in the process. But let's begin today's program. Once again, today's training is going to be about get out the vote. I've got some fun stuff in store for you. We're going to end with a panel. So I'm going to have the first 3 speakers speak for about 30 minutes. Then we're going to have a Q&A panel. And then I have a guest coming who's showing like some cool technology around an app that she has, and I wanted to show you guys. So it's great stuff, because you rarely hear about the GOP kind of going into the tech space. And then in between, I'll be sharing a couple of milestones that we've reached throughout this year. I thank you for your time. I appreciate you joining us today. And our first guest